exciting edition of my channel. On today's episode, we are going to discuss the ear health. Before we do that, please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, kindly subscribe, like, comment, and share, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any important video about your health that may come up subsequently. To help me talk about this particular topic, I have with me a clinical audiologist from Krispat Hearing Centre, Takoradi branch. He is by the name Isaac Sam. Mr. Isaac Sam.
Hello, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Isaac Sam is the head of the audiological department from Krispat Hearing Centre, Takoradi branch. Mr. Isaac.
Hello, sir.
I know that the ears, especially the ear health, is something that is usually neglected when it comes to the medical health of an individual.
That's true.
Amongst the five senses, the sense of touch, smell, taste, feel, and hearing, amongst all these, which one is the most important in your view?
I think this is an important question. Most of the times, most guys think about. My answer to this question is each of the senses is so much important to the human body. Okay, because without any of these senses, it will be very difficult for us to communicate or receive a particular information from our environment. So each sense contributes to receiving a certain kind of information from the environment. So I would say, in my view, I would say each of the senses is so much important. But tactically looking at the operation of each of these senses, you see the limitation that comes with the senses as well. Alright, so when you look at the sense of sight, you would notice that the sense of sight only operates. That is when the thing it wants to receive information from comes in focus of it.
Okay.
Alright. In the same way, the sense of touch can only operate when an object has touched the skin.
Okay.
So as of now, you can never use the sense of touch unless I have touched you. So me touching you will cause you to use the sense of touch to know whatever I wanted to communicate with you. So when you look at the various senses, there is this kind of limitation that comes with the operation. Alright, but I want us to look at the sense of hearing. The sense of hearing in its operation is a bit wonderful. Okay, yeah, as I said earlier, the limitation that comes with all the other senses, the sense of hearing also has its own limitation. But the sense of hearing gives us an access to a vast information compared to the other senses. This is exactly what I mean. For an example, let's say for an example, something is supposed to happen right now beyond our walls. Let's say there is an accident. Let's say there is a quarrel between a child and a mother. Let's say someone slaps somebody, okay, beyond our walls, anything at all. You see, the sense of touch would not pick up that information.
Sure.
The sense of taste wouldn't be able to take it. Alright, but the sense of hearing will go beyond the environment, that is, will go beyond our boundaries, and will be able to fish out, pick up what is really happening that's beyond our boundaries.
Amazing.
So the sense of touch, though it has its own limitation, but it's able to go beyond certain boundaries in order to pick certain things up. Alright, so there was this research that was done in one of these universities.
Okay.
And it was propounded that most of the cases, the blind always does better than the deaf. In their recordings, they found out that the blind is always better in academics compared to the deaf.
Amazing.
The truth is, the blind, though the sense, he has lost the sense of sight, but he also has a vast access to a lot of information that the deaf does not have access to.
Oh, wow.
All right. So when one is deaf, there are a lot of information you will lose, because not everything that your eyes behold will actually give you the information that you need. You might be looking at a particular thing, but there is something with that thing that is giving you another information. Okay, so I believe from my perspective, not that I'm debunking the other senses,
Sure.
but from my perspective, I believe that the sense of hearing is so much important.
Okay.
Because if you lose the sense of hearing, you lose a whole lot of information.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Wow. So our sense of hearing is of utmost importance.
Very important.
Wow. Amazing. So apart from hearing with our ears,
Mhm.
are there any other functions that the ears perform that we don't know?
The balance in a man.
Oh, okay. Okay. Balancing, as in by which means, or walking means, or
Exactly. By our walking, even by our sleep, by our everything we do, by the way we incline, we incline,
Mhm.
everything is by the ear. There is an organ in the ear called the semicircular canals. Now, these semicircular canals, we can't go deeper into it. Okay?
Sure.
If you want to go, they come to Krispat, right?
Exactly.
Now, this organ is what controls all the balance that is in us.
Amazing.
Yes, yes.
So if there's a problem with these semicircular canals, our balancing will be a problem.
Exactly.
And it is in the ears that we have these semicircular canals.
Exactly.
Wow.
So many people experience what you call vertigo.
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 Well, what's that?
You can't say this routine.
Wow. Dizziness.
Dizziness.
Wow. Wow. So most of the dizziness we experience,
Exactly.
it could be a problem from the ear.
Sure.
Amazing.
Sure.
These are very hard truths that we've discovered today. So yes, Mr. Isaac, coming again, what are some of the things that, or some of the bad practices that we have to do away with when it comes to the ear health? I mean, individuals or some of my viewers watching, most of them will want to know what are some of the things they have to desist from in order to maintain their ear health.
Okay. So for me to answer this question, I want us to have an overview of the ear.
Okay.
This is actually a prototype of the ear, a dummy. Okay. Now, for us to understand the ear very well, we are supposed to divide the ear into 3 sections. Actually, the ear has 3 sections. We have the outer ear, we have the middle ear. The outer ear is from the pinna through the canal, then it ends at the tear, that's the tympanic membrane, also called as the eardrum. Then we have what you know as the middle ear. The middle ear is an air-filled space. Okay, the middle ear, with including the eustachian tube, that is the middle ear. The middle ear also include these tiny bones called the ossicles. Now, moving from the middle ear, we come to the inner ear. Now, the inner ear includes or is consisted of the semicircular canals that I just mentioned and the cochlea. Now, for us to look into the very problems that come with the ear, we would have to look at the various sections, as I just said. Now, let's look at the outer ear.
Okay.
All right. Now, most of the bad practices we engage in, most of the times, is we are fond of putting things in the ear. Most of the times, cotton bud. We like putting cotton bud in the ear because we think there is some dirt in the ear. But say, that thing we call dirt is actually not dirt.
Wow.
It is wax, and it doesn't come from anywhere. It is produced by the ear itself to protect the eardrum.
Okay.
All right. But most of the times, most of the cases, we think that the wax is actually dirt. So we tend putting things in our ear. Most of the times, guys, we see people use pen tops.
Yeah.
To bring it out. They use cotton bud to bring it out. But the truth of the matter is, it doesn't necessarily bring it out. You would either bruise your ear canal, or 2, you will pack the wax close to the eardrum, which might cause the tympanic membrane, that is the eardrum, even to be perforated.
Amazing.
If care is not taken, and the much more you put the cotton bud in the ear or any other foreign body in the ear, there is that high tendency that because of that feeling that comes with, you see, you might be tempted to push the cotton bud in the ear further.
Just deep inside.
And you might perforate the eardrum. And the moment there is perforation of the eardrum, your hearing level can be reduced.
Just by the mere activity of putting something in your ears.
Because the eardrum has a particular role it plays when it comes to the mechanism of our hearing.
Okay.
All right. So if there is a perforation of the eardrum, your hearing level can come down.
Amazing. Amazing.
Exactly.
So viewers, the practice of putting foreign bodies, the Q-tips, the cotton buds, and any other foreign bodies inside the ear should be avoided. If you want to maintain your ear health, this practice should be avoided. Okay.
All right. So moving to the second section of the ear, that is the middle ear.
Okay.
I said earlier on that the middle ear is an air-filled space. It means that there's nothing is supposed to be in that place except air. So with the exception of air, nothing is supposed to be there. All right. But you see, most of the times, guys also like engaging in what we call sniffing. They like to sniff stuffs. There is something locally we call, is it kasha or something like that?
Yes, if you have headache, most of us will do that. Even our parents, they do that. Yes, yes.
Most of the times, when you sniff such substance, you see this eustachian tube, which is a part of the middle ear,
Okay.
is actually located behind our nose.
Wow.
So when you sniff, the much more you sniff, there is that high tendency that these substances can pass through the eustachian tube and get into the middle ear.
Wow.
Now, when it gets into the middle ear, one, it will make you feel uncomfortable because that place is supposed to be occupied only by air. And you begin to breathe fluid also in the ear. Now, fluid will begin to come up and you have what we call technically otitis media.
Wow.
Now, when it becomes so severe, this eardrum once again can be perforated. Exactly.
Wow.
Because when there is a buildup of fluid in the middle ear, now the eardrum becomes bulgy.
Okay.
It pushes the eardrum.
Okay.
And when it happens like that, the eardrum will tend to break.
Amazing.
And there is another problem.
Wow.
Exactly.
So the nose, the throat, and the ears are connected. This guy connects the nose to the ears.
Exactly.
Wow. So just by sniffing alone,
exactly,
another problem too can happen.
Sure.
So infection in the nose can ascend to the ears, and the ears can also descend to the
Exactly.
nose.
That's why we say when you have cold, catarrh, you should make sure you treat it quickly.
Wow.
Yeah. Because if you don't do that, that flames can also enter the middle ear and it can cause a whole lot of issue.
Good revelation. So viewers, please, the sniffing of substances should be avoided. As Mr. Isaac has kindly reviewed, it can cause infection, the buildup of fluid, causing otitis media, infection of the outer ear. The canal will be inflamed. It can also lead to the bulging of the tympanic membrane or the eardrum, causing perforation eventually.
Sure.
So we should stop avoiding, or we should avoid all this sniffing. So the inhalers, are they good?
The inhalers, they are okay.
They are okay.
Because they don't have any solid substance.
Oh, okay, okay.
Alright, so they are okay.
Okay, cool.
The inhalers are okay.
Okay. Is there any other bad practice?
We come to the third section,
Okay.
which is the inner ear. I said that the inner ear is consisted of the semicircular canals. If you remember, the second one is
the cochlea.
The cochlea, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, in the cochlea is what you know as organ of Corti.
Okay.
Now, this organ of Corti has a fragile hair cells.
Hair cells.
Exactly.
I think the cells
not hair structures. These are cells.
Microscopic in nature.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, these hair cells are responsible for our hearing. They transmit the energy that comes to it into a particular energy. We'll talk about it later. Okay. All right. Now, it transmits that energy into an electrical energy, which makes us to hear, which is then interpreted by the brain as sound.
Oh, okay.
Now, this cochlea, which I said has this organ of Corti, has been specially programmed, okay, to be exposed to only a particular level of sound. Now, when the organ of Corti, that's the hair cells, become exposed to a louder sound, they tend to either bend or break.
So they are fragile.
They are very fragile. Now, when it bends, you are okay. I think you are fortunate when it bends. Because over time, it can regain its agility. But the moment it breaks, so there is a saying that a hearing that is lost forever.
You cannot regain it.
You cannot regain it again.
Wow.
by natural means. No medication can cause any hair cell that is broken to grow up. No medication.
At least not yet.
Not yet. Research is still ongoing. Yeah,
Okay.
research is still. So exposing yourself to lots of noise is one of the most bad practice you should avoid, because there are lots of youth in our midst that have a lot of hearing loss. Like they have like I'm sure most of them have mild hearing loss, and because mild hearing loss is not that disabling, they don't really experience the hearing loss. But as they grow, the hearing loss also increases. Okay, aging also sets in, and because there is a hearing loss as a result of noise, now the hearing loss becomes profound, and then you would need either cochlear implant or what you call
the hearing aid.
Hearing aid.
Which are they cheap?
Sir, they are very expensive.
Quite expensive.
They are very expensive.
Do you have difficulties hearing when people are talking to you? Do you turn the volume of your radio or television high before you hear? Do others complain when they talk you don't hear them? Do you feel pain or have discharge from your ears? Do you work in a noisy environment? If your answer to the above questions are yes, then run to Krispat Hearing Centre, the ear and hearing experts. At Krispat Hearing Centre, we undertake the following services: computerized hearing tests, audiometry, dispense digital hearing aids and accessories. We sell swimming plugs and ear protectors for industrial workers. We undertake primary ear, throat, nose care. Do visit our offices at Tema, Kumasi and in Accra. Contact us on 0244 675 962 or 0247 584 402 and 0248 878 057. Krispat, your hearing experts.
The long-term exposure to noise damaging the hair cells in the ears. I want to ask, how do we avoid coming into contact with some of these noise in the environment? I mean, some youth or some people like using headsets for a very long period of time. How do we manage such conditions and such problems? The churches making noise, the mosque, the bars, everywhere is almost noisy. So how do we manage such noise to prevent our ears damaging?
Okay, so first of all, don't go to places with a lot of noise.
We should avoid them.
Avoid them. See, most of the youth like going to pubs, these pubs.
Yes.
They say recreational words, noise. It's actually damaging the ears, alright?
Okay.
So first of all, don't go to places that has a lot of noise, okay? Places with a lot of noise, please avoid such places. And secondly, you see, because you're a Christian, you can't say you won't go to church. You can't tell your man of God, please lower the level of the sound. No, you can't say that to your man of God. Yes. All right. You can't say that to the Mala
or the
Imam. Or the Imam.
Yeah.
All right. So the best thing I think you can do, I said earlier on that when you're exposed to a sound of about 70 decibels, what happens is the hair cells, okay, first of all, it gets bent. All right. Then as time goes on, the much more you become exposed to it for a longer period of time, 8 hours, all right, for an hour, like 8 hours, all right. And that is when the hair cells breaks off. So the advice is, after you've closed from church, after you've closed from the mosque, after you've gone to a place where there is a lot of noise, when you get to the house, please relax your ears.
To give it a break.
Give it a break. Because when there is a bending of the hair cells, it might come back. You don't know. Alright, it might come back. So after you've gone to noisy environments or noisy places, when you get to the house, refrain your ears from any other noise. Alright, that is first of all. And secondly, you said that the guys like using
the headphones and the earset.
Most of the times, you see, when you check the volume, it will be beyond 60. They want to hear every instrument. The words. It can be at 40-30% and you hear everything.
It's still audible at that point.
Yeah. It shouldn't be beyond 40%, the volume. Okay. You see, when you raise your volume to around 60 and above, you're actually producing a sound with a pressure of about 110 decibels.
Oh, okay.
And you see, such a noise Research has proven that you can only be exposed to such noise only for 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Beyond 15 minutes, your hair cells will begin to break. That's why I said earlier that there are lots of youth with hearing loss.
But they're not profound.
Exactly. So make sure that the volume of that which you are using is not above 40%.
Okay.
All right, and you are good to go.
Good.
You are good to go. And thirdly, make sure you monitor your hearing. You monitor your hearing. That's why you need an audiologist or ENT specialist in your life. Okay.
Good.
Monitor your hearing, and you are good to go.
So how many times should we check our ear?
Twice in a year.
At least twice.
At least twice. At least twice.
Good. So viewers, I believe we have been informed. Today's episode has been very interactive. There has been so many revelations most of us didn't know. So Mr. Isaac, thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
Some of these problems that he has talked about, if you are experiencing any of them, Krispat Hearing Centre is the place to have the solutions to every problem with regards to your ear health. So if you are experiencing noise in the ear, what we call tinnitus, you have pains, you cannot hear properly, you have walked to every facility known in Ghana here and there is still no solution, Krispat Hearing Centre is the best place for you. They offer so many or wide varieties of ENT assessments. They do audiological assessment, tympanometry, they sell hearing aids, earplugs, ear muffs, and they do ENT medical services. They have 5 branches across the nation: Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Ho, and in Takoradi branch. The numbers are on your screen. Pick the numbers close to you, to the branch around you, and then call them. They will be very glad to assist you. Krispat Hearing Centre, they say hearing is a right. Krispat Hearing Centre, the hearing expert. Thank you very much, Mr. Isaac.
Thank
I
you.
was glad to have you on our show.
It was honored to be here.
Till we come your way the next time, kindly like, comment, and share this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any important episode of our channel. Till I come your way the next time, stay healthy.